Do you know it doesn't cost a dime to click on the subscription button? Do you also know that you can click the subscribe button without watching our lesson till the end? Please do subscribe and patronize our videos. DKK will continue to serve you through her videos. Thanks for watching.
Okay, we are looking at this question of bearing. Two men P and Q set off from a base camp R. Prospecting for oil, P moves 20 km on a bearing of 205 degrees and Q moves 15 km on a bearing of 60 degrees. So we are told to calculate distance of Q from P and the bearing of Q from P. So because the camp is R, so we are going to draw our first cardinal point, the four cardinal points representing R. Then P moves 20 km on a bearing of 205 degrees. That means P is the first man that makes the journey from R. So let us represent this information. So now we are going to draw four cardinal points like we said, representing R. So we draw the first one, indicating the north and the west east. So this is our R. So P moves 20 km on a bearing of 205 degrees. So we can find this bearing on the third quadrant. So we draw a line. So that means from here to this line is 205 degrees. That is the bearing of P from R, 205 degrees. So now where are we going to connect this line? So we now look at this bearing is bigger than 180 degrees. So we subtract 180 degrees from 205 degrees to give us 25 degrees. So that means we will connect this line on the first quadrant because that is where we can find 25 degrees. So this is the bearing 25 degrees. That means R is 25 degrees from P and P is 205 degrees from R. So another one is the second man that makes the journey, the man Q. He moves 15 km on a bearing of 60 degrees. So we can find this bearing on the first quadrant of R, which is the camp. So we draw a line. We draw a line on the first quadrant of R, indicating the movement. So this is the bearing 60 degrees. So where are we going to connect this line of Q? So because 60 degrees is less than 180, we add it to 180, which is 240 degrees. And where can we find 240 degrees? We can find it on the third quadrant. So we connect this line on the third quadrant. So from here to there is bearing 240 degrees. And that is bearing of R from Q. Now, the next thing we are going to do is we will join this line of P and Q. So it has formed a triangle. Now by alternate angle, 25 degrees is equal to this, and this angle is intact, so it's still 90 degrees. So in this first quadrant, we can subtract 60 from 90 to give us 30 degrees. So the total angle on R will now be 25 plus 90 plus 30. So let us add them. So this gives us 145 degrees. So that is the total angle on R. Then let us go ahead and represent our distances. P and R is 20 km and R and Q is 15 km. But PQ, we don't know the distance, so we can represent this as small letter r because the side facing angle R. Okay, we want to find the distance R using cosine rule. So we have that R square equal to P square plus Q square minus 2PQ cos R. So what will be side P? Side P is the side facing angle P, which is 15 km. And Q, small letter Q, is the side facing angle Q, which is 20 km. So we are going to do substitution. We are going to substitute all of these. So I have that r square equal to 15 square plus 20 square minus 2 times 15 times 20 equals 145 degrees. So we are going to simplify this. 15 square plus 20 square will give us 625. Then looking at this, we have simplified this as 625 minus, then simplify 2 times 15 times 20 as 600. Then cos 145 is giving us minus cos 35, because this cos is having negative sides in negative side in the second quadrant. So when we subtract 145 plus 180, we have 35. That's why we're having this. So now we open this bracket with minus. So we have 625 minus times the minus inside will give us plus. So cos 35 is 0.8192. So when we open this bracket, we'll have this 625 plus 491.52. This gives r square is equal to 1116.52. So because we are not looking for r square but r, we take square root of both sides. So this gives us our r, that is the distance of P from Q or Q from P. So that is 33.4 kilometers. So the next thing we are going to do is to find the bearing of Q from P, and we trace it from P. So the bearing starts from here until it touches the line of Q, the line that leads to Q. So these are the bearing. That means we need 25 plus the angle there. So we don't know the angle, so we can label the angle as theta. So that means 25 plus theta will give us the bearing we are looking for. So to find this theta, we are going to use sine rule. So we have sine, using sine rule, we have sine theta over 15, that is the side facing the theta, is equal to sine 145 divided by the side, which is 33.4. So divided by 33.4. So when you cross multiply, we have 15 times sine 145 will give us, we have 15 times 0.5736 equal to 33.4 sine theta. And then we simplify this. 15 times 0.5736 will give us, let's press the calculator. Okay, I have 8.6036 equal to 33.4 sine theta. So we can now make sine theta subject formula. So when we make sine theta the subject formula, we are having divided both sides by the coefficient of sine theta, which is 33.4. So we have this to be 8.6036 divided by 33.4. So this gives 0.2576. So to find theta, we take the sine inverse of the right hand side. So we have theta equal to sine inverse of 0.2576, which is 14.9 degrees. So now, having known theta, we can now go ahead and calculate our bearing, the bearing of Q from P, which we said is 25 plus theta, and theta is 14.9 degrees. So now we can now add 25 plus 14.9. This gives 39.9, so we can approximate it to the nearest degree. So this gives 0.40 degrees. That's a 3-digit bearing. So this is the answer we are looking for. So thank you for watching this. So we need to know the steps of this, because it's very, very in bearings. We need to know all the preposition. They really helps. Whenever we know the preposition, it helps in bearings, especially the diagram, because once the diagram is correct, every other thing will be correct. But if your diagram is wrong, the solving will be wrong. So we need to master the preposition from, to, of, on, and so forth and so on. Thank you.